Hello, everyone. Welcome to Developing Palates. I'm Aaron Loomis, coming to you from the Ventura Cigar Company studio. With me today is Jiunn, Lou, and John McTavish. How you guys doing this afternoon?
Back in the corporate grind.
It's true. We are back in the corporate grind. I wish there was some Colorado weather up here, but sadly, there is not.
Too bad. What I am happy to come back to is this thing called proper humidity.
That is true.
Yeah, we did notice. I mean, I'm at fairly high altitude, but we did definitely notice the altitude and the humidity. I gotta give props to the guys who smoke in Colorado because stuff didn't taste quite right.
Yeah. All right. So today we are talking about the Rocky Mountain Cigar Festival 2019. Doing a recap of that. We all attended that last weekend. It's the first time that all of us had gone to this event. So we thought it'd be an interesting topic to kind of chat about and share that out. So that's what we're going to do now. Give you a little bit of background on this event. It's an annual event. It's in Colorado. I think it's been at the same venue for the last couple of years, but another venue in years past. It's basically a consumer cigar event where manufacturers are selling cigars. And there's additional vendors there that offer beer, spirits, wine, and various other products. There could be some, I think those
shirts, lighters, pottery,
shirts, yeah, accessories.
There was that one lady who had the really cool handcrafted like stags and stuff like that, cast out of silver and whatnot. That's pretty cool.
Yes, there's a mix of things that are there, but it's primarily a cigar event. Like I said, other items there. They have a few different ticket offerings for you to attend. They have a general admission ticket. It runs $180. You get an event bag. It's got like 30 cigars in it, cutter, lighter, and then you get like some drink tickets and lunch ticket. And there's a few other odds and ends in there.
You know what the problem though, Aaron, is if you give a bag full of cigars at a selling event, the problem with that is nobody's going to buy cigars. I don't know if they didn't really think that through very well.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to find out how it worked out.
Do you know what they got, like the general admission folks got for cigars? Like, did they, like how many cigars, I guess I'm asking?
30 cigars.
30 cigars. No shit. Damn.
And they also have a social ticket. So people that are not into cigars, that maybe a significant other, or just maybe somebody that doesn't smoke, but wants to hang out with their buddies. That's only $60. But it's sort of
which I gotta say, that's for an event that size and that well organized. That's dirt cheap.
Yeah, those bitch tickets are really dirt cheap.
You get the same other stuff. You get your drink tickets, lunch ticket. Your cup and all that kind of stuff. So
you get drink tickets for the $60?
Yeah.
Oh,
dude,
nice.
That is
there to drink. You could
that is ridiculously cheap,
right? So
wow,
that works out. They also have a VIP ticket. It runs $280. The difference with the VIP ticket is you get into the event an hour earlier than the general admission people. You get 15 additional cigars. And you also get access to the VIP lounge, which is basically a covered tent. So if you want to, kind of sit down at the tables and relax in the shade, you can do that. So you're not having to just kind of walk around and things like that. They also had a VIP social, which just excludes the cigars, but gets you all the same stuff as the VIP ticket. So you get the hour early entry and you get access to the lounge. Then they also have the top level, which is the executive VIP ticket. That's $575, and that gives you everything that's in the VIP package. So the 45 cigars, early entry, and you get an additional 15 cigars that are supposed to be classified as rare cigars, so not the average cigar that you would get in the other bags. You get a higher end festival bag, you get a higher end cutter, you get a higher end lighter, and then in the VIP lounge you have an open bar, so you can drink as much as you want. And I think,
by the way, could definitely drink $575 worth of booze. No problem. No problem.
Wait, I don't know if you guys want to talk about what we got. I'm curious as to what we get for being part of media. Was that like a hybrid ticket?
I think so, yeah. Just based on the number of people that we had going to the event, I think it was kind of a hybrid. So,
okay.
Because we got the drink tickets enough for 3 people and the 3 cups and stuff like that. So you wouldn't get that in a normal pack. You would just get a single on all that stuff. and then yeah, so and I think they have a limited number of those executive VIP tickets. I think it was only like 20 or 25 tickets that are at that level.
Oh, I see.
Even the VIPs, I think it was said that they sold out in less than 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Which is pretty impressive because I don't know what the numbers were for VIP, but I think it was, fairly healthy given the size of the event.
Right. And so the event itself consists of the Mega Herf, which runs on Friday night, and that was sponsored by Drew Estate and Rocky Patel. And basically at that event, it ran from like 7 to 10 in the evening. Basically at that event, you could buy from those two vendors. And then they had, cocktails and drinks available. It was a host bar, so you had to pay for those items, but you could meet with Rocky and Nimish and
Nish.
so Nish was there. Yeah, Fabian from Drew Estate Acid was there, and Willie Herrera was there. So you could get a chance to meet with them. It wasn't, it was. I think it's still fairly intimate. I mean, it wasn't a huge like mob scene there, so it was a nice chance to be able to chit chat with people and things like that. It wasn't like it was just you would never get a chance to chat with those people. You had pretty easy access to them and be able to chat with them for a lengthy amount of time. The festival itself is on Saturday. Runs from noon to 6 p.m. VIPs got in at 11 a.m. So that entire event time, you had access to all the booths, all the vendors, so you could buy cigars and things like that, or try any of the spirits or drinks and things like that during that time. They had a few seminars. One, they had a Roll Your Own Cigar with Michael Giannini from Ventura Cigar. They had a tasting seminar with Klaus Kellner from Davidoff, and then they had a kind of getting to know CLE and Asylum Cigars with Tom Lazuka. So those were all.
Was that what it was called for the CLE one?
I don't know if I think it was classified as a tasting initially, but I think it was a kind of changed of what the actual content was at the event itself. And each of those, I think, were an hour-long session. Those had an additional cost to them, so those were additional things that you could purchase if you wanted to attend any of those events. And then on Saturday evening from 7 to 10 at the pool at the event, they had kind of the after party, which was pretty low key. I mean, it was kind of people hanging around the pool, drinking, and they had some food there that you could order if you wanted. I think it was mainly tacos and things like that. So that's kind of the event in a nutshell. Do you guys have anything you wanted to add there, and what's kind of just the scope of what the event is?
I think, just give people the sense of the size, because I don't know that we knew the size of it going in. And if you can imagine a hotel property, and if you can imagine a hotel property that's kind of on an uneven grade, so there's a high area of the property and a low area of the property, and the tents essentially stretched from the far end of the hotel all the way along the back of the hotel and all the way around the side of the hotel. I mean, I don't know what the tent number was, but that was a fairly good walk. I mean, we walked it a few times. That was certainly the largest event, both in people attendance and I would say space wise for consumers that I've ever seen by far.
I think in terms of, I mean, I guess my perspective is a little skewed. So I guess first I could say I've never been to a cigar festival this big. Right, the only thing I've been to is Crush and Roll, which is no longer around, and that dwarfs this thing dwarfs that festival that was around. And my only benchmark is IPCPR, and that's completely different, right? Like huge show floor. But even with the Rocky Mountain Festival, which supposedly is the biggest event, cigar event in the U.S., I felt like even though we probably paced from beginning to end, starting from the pavilion to the very last booth, I felt like there was never a moment in which I'm like, oh, I already saw that. I don't need to see anything again, right? Like there was always where I kind of feel like when we're pacing back, we're going back, we're revisiting in general, I'm like, oh man, like I want to taste that spirit, or I want to taste that booth spirit, or I want to go mingle with that, cigar brand owner. So I never felt like there was any like boredom. There was no boredom like with all the booths there.
And I would say it was busy, but if you've ever been to a cigar event at a shop, and this is no disrespect to retailers, but if you've ever been to a Big Smoke or anything like that, it's pretty crowded. I mean, you're kind of shoulder to shoulder. It's kind of tough to walk around, and even at its most crowded points, around Steve's booth and sort of choke points along the way. I never really felt like I had to kind of push past people. You know what I mean? Like it was still manageable, even though, I mean, you can see it by the photos. It was packed.
No.
Yeah, but it wasn't like people smothering themselves. Like
No.
I've heard, like at Big Smoke or Cigar Fest, that it can be a little bit
A little claustrophobic.
Yeah, with the number of people and like
Yeah.
trying to squeeze through places, and like you want to try to go somewhere else to get kind of away from the crowds a little bit, just to kind of relax. But that wasn't the case really here. I mean, you could pretty much all over the place. There were spots where if you're talking at a booth, you can you're relaxed in that spot. It's not completely like everybody's all over themselves and rushing to get into somewhere. So it was a nice relaxed event, I thought.
Yeah, and the trickling of kind of people standing in line to actually get into the event. I heard nobody complain about how it took forever to get in, or how it was too crowded, or how it was whatever. Right? Like there was no complaints about logistics that I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think having that kind of early entry for the VIPs kind of tempered that a little bit. So you got a little subset of people that got in early, and they were in a different. Their entrance was in a different section than the general admission. So it wasn't like everybody was kind of in the same spot. So it was a good job kind of like separating those people out so that they didn't take up all the space, or the line looked astronomical because of where everybody was trying to get in from.
Yep.
So what? You had something, John?
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I mean, there was quite a number of people carrying around lawn chairs because there was some, green spaces. So there were people that just essentially set up their lawn chair and camped and smoked and drank and had a great time. And provided I had an umbrella over me, I probably wouldn't down with that, but I would have burned to a crisp in about 30 seconds flat. So
That's true. So let's talk a little about the cigars that they were giving out in the event bags, and you kind of alluded to that earlier, John. So giving out cigars at a selling event, it's kind of ludicrous, you would think, but the cigars that we saw that were in the bags, they were all legit cigars. It wasn't like they were throwaways that you might get at some other events where it's like the seventh cigar down on a portfolio sheet from a brand. It was all like, it was a lot of new cigars that had already been released this year. And then still higher end cigars from the other companies that may not have had a release from this year. What do you guys think of what was in those bags?
I mean, I personally, I would say that although there's certainly some cigars in there that that I don't enjoy personally, I would classify pretty much everything that's in that bag as a marquee or main release from all of the attendees. So looking at that, it's not like, boy, I almost said a brand or internet brand, threw them under the bus, but like, how you sometimes get an internet bundle, right? And you're like, hey, give me the internet bundle. It wasn't like that at all. Like all of these cigars are cigars that have been released either, this year or the last year, or, there were several examples where Jiunn pulled one out and we're like, where'd you get that? And he's like, well, it's in the bag. And it's like, wait, that was in the bag? Like, what is that cigar doing in a grab bag? Like, that's a crazy good cigar. And, there was a bunch of them in there where it was like, oh man, like not a single one of those is a cigar that, that I would have smoked pretty much everything in the bag, actually. So,
yeah. I mean, well, I didn't get a chance to look at what was the actual like journal submission ticket bag or like the VIP bag. Like I think we probably got
VIP
probably
maybe?
like damn near like exec VIP bags.
I don't think we got the executive bag.
You don't think so?
No,
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
But I think we had a good mix of what was offered there.
Yeah, I mean, no complaints, no seconds, no unbanded bullshit, like none of that kind of stuff. I was pleased.
There's no catalog, like, you know what I mean? Like almost always when you get a bag of cigars, there's like 5 or 8 sort of, and no disrespect, but there's like catalog cigars in there, and you're like, I'm not smoking this. Like it's a $3 cigar. I'm not smoking it. There was nothing like that. There's nothing like that in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We alluded to this a little bit earlier about how well the event was organized, but kind of giving some people a little insight into what that looked like. So all the booths were basically just a single, 6-foot table. Would you say it was a 6-foot table?
That's right.
The tablecloth was provided on there. I think the vendors got like a POS system for credit cards, and they also got like a bag with
wireless.
that had cash in it for change that people were paying cash. So
There were covered booths, so
yeah,
they protected from the sun.
So the vendors really, all they had to do was show up with their stuff, and then they could just do their thing. And it wasn't like that there was all this like planning or misplanning, and they had to kind of figure it out on the fly. It was all pretty well organized in how that was all going to look. And I don't think I heard any vendor complain. Somebody may have. I didn't hear that. But I did hear vendors say that this is probably the most well-run event like this that they attend.
Yeah, I heard vendor praises. I didn't hear any complaints. I supposedly I also heard where vendors ship their products. The hotel or festival employees will hold it for them, and when they're ready to pack up their leftover products, they just have to like put it in one of the conference rooms in the hotel, and the hotel or the festival will ship it back to their destination and all that stuff. Like it's pretty crazy how much logistics goes involved with setting up something like big as this, and all these thoughts that come around, and like how Rocky Mountain Cigar Festival folks were so on it with all of these little details. I thought that was pretty incredible.
Yeah, we're talking kind of today that one of the, and this sounds probably really silly, but one of the little details, like even the event staff and hotel staff were all wearing shirts and or clothing that sort of unified them with the event. So at no point walking around the property did you kind of feel like, I'm in the wrong area, or have I kind of left the event area. Like the whole area felt like the event area, whether you're in front of the hotel or the back of the hotel or the middle of the hotel. It just felt like a cohesive event where we knew where it started and where it ended, but there wasn't a hard line of, if you walk over this line, you're going to have to throw your cigar away, anything like that. Which is nice, because at no point, did you feel like a second-class citizen smoking cigars. Like it just felt extremely welcoming. And of course, all the staff were very, very welcoming and nice and courteous. And yeah, I mean, I can't imagine how much work in fact, I can't imagine, but setting up that many tables, that many tablecloths, all, like you said, managing all the stuff that comes in, setting up there was live music. We didn't talk about the live music. They had a band going, setting up the stage area, all that stuff. That's a lot of work. And then you got to break it down.
Yep.
That's
I think there was two bands that kind of split up between the day, and they had speakers that kind of went throughout the area. So even if you weren't where the band was playing, the music was still playing wherever you were. So you could still kind of hear what was going on. So that was kind of a nice touch, I thought, in regards to making it so that it wasn't like everybody crammed over to the music area to be able to kind of enjoy that. So that was nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's get to the big topic of, do consumers buy cigars when they get cigars in their bags? So I would say 98% of the cigar vendors pretty much had boxes, set up on the table so you can kind of see what they were offering that day and things like that. And, some would have price lists, some would not have price lists. It just depended what their, preferred method of kind of discussing cost was. But the cost of the cigars were definitely at a discounted rate than normal. I think there was no tax charged for the cigars. I think that was kind of built into what the deals were with Smoker Friendly kind of organizing this event. But and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there was quite a bit of buying happening at this show. Would you guys say that's true?
The consumers are excited to buy. And the actual, within the huge number of booths that were selling cigars, whether it be like, samplers or boxes, they had good stuff to sell, right? Like,
yeah.
Well, like, Steve Saka brought all his unicorns and, all his high-end stuff, and they cleared them out.
Yeah, he was done, I think, by like 3 o'clock. And
he had no more cigars left.
Yeah. And, Drew Estate had essentially the full line of, Unicos out for the Ligas. Cubatequeño guys had a deal where I think if you buy like 2 boxes of their stuff, like you get this, unicorn pack in which there's like unreleased stuff that's only for their own, private personal consumption. So, I mean, Bonsai was there, right? Give a little shout out to Eric. Uh, so, it was all really like legit good stuff. None of this, seconds or whatever, non-flagship stuff.
I mean, I saw a ton of people. Like there were people who had 2 shopping bags full of boxes and then like swag or something kind of over their shoulder, and they were going back to their car to drop it off so they
No.
could come back and continue shopping.
Right.
There was more than a few guys who had like these giant like metal boards or whatever from the Rocky Patel booth, and like, I mean, if you could see it on their face, like they were ecstatic, and they got Rocky and Nish and Nimish to sign it and everything like that. I mean, yeah, I mean, there was so much buying going on. The accessories, the lighters, shirts, hats, Guayaberas, you name it. I don't know how well the sort of alternate vendors did with the other stuff, but I mean, it seemed like everyone was buying everything. I mean, I bought stuff, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think a few times that we were talking to people and they were like, "Oh yeah, I dropped $500 or $600 today," and things like that. So there was definitely a fair amount of money being thrown around there. So
I think it just goes to show you that, and this obviously ties into some other stuff we've been talking about for a couple months now. If you limit yourself and your mentality of what you can do, then you're going to be limited. But in this case, someone could have come in and said, well, boy, if you give them a bag of 45 really good cigars, are these people really going to go buy a product? Yeah, it turns out they will. And they'll buy as much as they can. I mean, yeah, the deals are good, but, I wouldn't say the deals are crazy. It's not like they were giving cigars away. But when's the last time you walked up to a Drew Estate booth and you saw all the Unicodes available for purchases? I mean, I was looking at that and I'm like, man, how bad am I going to get ruined at the border if I just buy like a 5-stack or whatever? The only thing I regret is I was going to, I passed Steve's booth a couple times and I'm like, man, I really got to get a unicorn. And I regretted not jumping on it. So that's on me, but they go.
Yeah. And one of the other things I like about events like this is kind of, I guess, I don't know, resetting my expectations of what the normal cigar consumer buying habits is like. I mean, because I don't want to say this as a negative connotation for anybody, and I don't want it to sound like we're bragging at all, but we're not the typical cigar consumer. Like, we're very geeky about knowing about all the new releases and things like that. So we're kind of in a different spot where like we know what we're looking to get and buy and things like that, and kind of what we want to go after. But kind of getting back to like, oh, if you're not involved in the media, like going back to like before we started, like, that kind of reminds me that's how it was. That's how excited I was when I got to go to an event that I looked forward to once a year or whatever it was. And just seeing like what was exciting to them and, what they were buying and what they were smoking at the event. I think the easiest thing to spot was the Woodies by Oscar Valladares, which are those monstrosities.
It's like a 13 by 100 or something like that.
Something like that, yeah. And there was quite a few people
there was
walking around smoking those.
A lot of people smoking them, and I almost wonder if he sold through, given the number of people we saw smoking them.
Do you know what that group was that was wearing those kilts? Like they were a part of some like smoking group.
Yeah, some cigar club or something like that.
Yeah. There was a pile of and kudos to all the guys and gals out there who kind of wore their club shirts and jackets and stuff like that, because it was really cool, like you said, from a consumer perspective, to see all these different kind of tight-knit groups out there.
Good point.
Yeah,
and I mean, the cigar groups, I thought it was really cool. Like it kind of reminds me like when like Fat Ash, right? Like those Fat Ash guys will make their own shirts for their own clubs, but this was more like face to face, like local get together kind of cigar groups. You know what I mean? Which I think is even cooler. Which is one of the foundations of enjoying cigars, right? So
yeah, so it was cool. I mean, there's people that were just going there. They might not have known who some of the companies were. They knew what they wanted to do. They just wanted to kind of hang out, sit in the shade, listen to music, drink, eat, smoke, have a good time kind of thing. I mean, there was plenty of areas where that was happening. It wasn't like everybody was just always, hawking on a booth, trying to, find out what they could buy or trying to sneak some free cigars or something like that. So
I'd like to know what the percentage of out-of-towners were, because it seemed like every time I turned around, I was running into, well, I mean, I don't know how many Canadians there, but I can't believe they let that many Canadians at the festival, first of all. But there was like a ton of people from Atlanta, obviously you guys from California, but it seemed like there were, like, I kept expecting to run into more locals, and it seemed like there was a lot of people there that were from out of state.
yeah, I think it was definitely a good mix. I don't know if they have if they kind of track that and would be able to kind of share those numbers, but that would be interesting to see, like, how many people from Colorado versus outside of the state.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I mean, I think, for what this event is, I think it's definitely a destination event. I mean, you only have a few other ones I think that are at this scale. And from what people say, this is the best one. So I could see people definitely making the trek out to attend it. So, all right. So there was one thing that popped up during the tasting seminar with Klaus Kellner that John took offense to. So I don't know if you want to share what the issue was with that.
Yeah, man. All I'm saying is, all this talk about straight cut being the only cut that's like considered appropriate for tasting. I mean, listen. First of all, as the co-vice president of the V Cut Club of America, that's right, of America and Canada, everyone knows that V Cut is a superior cut. I mean, I get all the shade being thrown around by master blenders. I get it. You understand tobacco, but I got to tell you, man, V cutters are superior to straight cut. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know. I mean, Davidoff uses science for all their stuff. So if he says straight cut, I'm going to listen to straight cut.
All I'm going to say is that Klaus, Eladio, and Hanky are welcome to the Media House at the 2020 IPCPR, and we'll be happy to have a 10-hour showdown about what cigars are best. We'll do some blind draw tasting with different cut types and really kind of put that through its paces. But I'm confident that V-Cut will reign supreme, as it always does.
All right. So any other things you guys want to chat about the festival itself? Otherwise, we can talk about kind of things that we did kind of surrounding the festival.
Can I just talk about how absurdly good the level of spirits and beer that will be handed out? Because, I've attended other events that are not cigar events, and, for example, the Calgary Stampede up here, and you don't expect to get craft beer and spirits. You expect to go up and having Coors Banquet. But instead, you go up and you're getting like Stranahans, for example, right. And it's like, which of these 5 bottles of Stranahans would you like? And it's like, I would like all of them, please. If you could just pour them in succession, that would be great.
Right.
And I mean, I actually lost count. I think there was probably 6 distilleries or 6 distillery brands represented, and I think 8 or 9 breweries. But I completely lost count because there was, like, every time we turned around, it seemed like we were running across another great Colorado brewer.
Yeah, and I like how the focus on spirits was also for California craft spirits. We maybe saw like one that was non-local. But
2, I think.
Oh, 2? Okay.
Yeah.
But
Seagram's, I'm sure, is not local.
Oh,
I didn't really count them.
Yeah, it actually had a really nice, trailer and all
that.
They
had a cool setup
by there.
Yeah, it was actually cool.
I was like, Seagram 7? Fuck no.
But I mean, that was a cool setup.
Shout out to Seagram. Please advertise with this. Okay.
Porntel.
Yeah.
Call us.
But I mean, it's what was cool about having like local / regional spirits and beer was, that should further attract people to go visit, right? So you basically have one-stop shop where these guys are actually bringing in their good stuff, right? It's not some like BS like White Dog that they want you to taste. It's
like White Claw.
Yeah, like White Claw or Truly. So gross.
Truly was their stuff when it came.
Judging you, Juan. We're judging you right now.
Keto man. so I think that's super cool, right? Like, because a lot of this stuff, I guess unfortunately is not really widely distributed. So I think it should also give a further incentive for people to go to this festival to try it. You know, not everything was good, but there was still some stuff that I thought was especially good, and we'll get to that more that when you guys watch Porn Tell next.
That's right. Yeah, man. I want to say the biggest brewery that was there was Oscar Blues, right? That would be we consider the largest.
Yeah, I think that's. I mean, if you exclude, for breweries, yeah. I mean, even like Glendronach was represented there as a distillery brand, and even Glendronach didn't bring like their janky stuff. They were bringing 21-year-old Glendronach, and it's like, okay, outside of whiskey tastings, when's the last time you went to an event and they were pouring 21-year-old Scotch whiskey like that? That just is, and they didn't care. They're like, do you want the 15, the 18, or the 21? It's like, well, all of them, obviously, duh. But normally you go to an event and they're like, well, would you like the 10, the 12, or the 15? Not the high end stuff. So it's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think Pepsi was a sponsor of the event, so they had soft drinks and stuff like that. They have energy drinks as well if you wanted to partake in that. But then, and they were handing out water for free as well, so you don't have to pay for water, which is, I think, a classy move. And then you pretty much you had all kinds of the spirits and beer to taste. So it was, there was something there for everyone. I would say. So it was nothing that was like, I don't drink this, I don't drink that. You had all kinds of stuff like that. So.
And I do want to say that if you're and this is my little spiel. If you're a brand owner and you're on the fence as to whether to attend the event, I got to say, all the people that were going up to kind of their favorite cigar brands and stuff, these guys were like fanboying hard. I mean, there were people who were like going up to the Rocky Patel booth and they're like, I'm not really here to buy anything. I just want to shake your hand and say hi and thank you for your cigars. And there was like people doing that for all the booths like all day long. So, if you're not attending this event and, you have that kind of cool dude appeal or whatever, lady appeal, it was kind of funny to see because like you said, Aaron, we're so detached from the consumer level stuff anymore. Like, we walk past Rocky. It's like, yo, Rocky, what's going on, man? It's like, hey, Steve, what's going on? Hey, Danny, what's going on? And, that's because we get access all the time. Consumers don't get that kind of access. So, there's a lot of face-to-face time that you just don't get at most events. You get your cigars and then you get the heck out.
And so many of the brands had the principles there. It was, there's some larger companies that don't really have a face to them. So that you don't really have that. But I mean, all of them had, the principle there.
Yeah.
At the event. So if you like a brand, you wanted to meet the person behind the brand, you probably had an opportunity to do that.
Yeah, if you like Oscar Valadero cigars, well, here's Oscar. He'll shake your hand and there he is right there.
Yep.
Yeah, you could definitely fanboy like crazy at this thing.
Yeah. All right, so you want to chat about stuff around the event? So for people that probably come in from out of state, it would make more sense to make a long weekend out of it. You're already traveling, so it's pretty worthwhile just not to pop in like on a Saturday morning and then roll out Sunday morning and just be there for the event. So we, as a group, we got in there on Thursday afternoon, and then we kind of dropped all of our stuff off at where we were staying. We went to go find some food, so looking for some local spots. We found a pretty good barbecue spot, I thought. And then after that, we got to head into Denver and going to do a little bit of beer tasting and
barbecue. You forgot about the barbecue.
Also, I said pretty good barbecue spot that we found for food there. But I don't think we did as good a job in regards to knowing where some of the breweries were. Like some that we stopped over at Great Divide, but there was also a place that we wanted to go to, which was right across the street.
Right across the street.
So it.
We wanted to. Should have went to Cook Estate. We didn't know right across the street, motherfucker.
Totally missed out.
Great Divide was pretty good. I mean, we tried.
I know, but
what did we try? Like 12 different beers there.
I think it was like 12 or 12.
We basically tried all their Yeti variants.
Yeah, all the Yeti variants.
Yeah.
and then various sours and things like that.
No.
I mean, obviously for me, and I made this comment during the tasting, I was like, we're going to settle up, and I'm like, man, this is going to be like $120. And Jiunn's like, no. And Aaron's like, I think it's like going to be $80 or $84 worth of beer. And Jiunn's like, no, you guys are stupid and can't do math. It's like $50 worth of beer. And I'm like, there's no way that's $50 worth of beer. And Jiunn's like, yeah, it's $46 with tip. And I'm like, what? How's that even possible?
We had, how many tasters do we have? We probably had between
14, 16, 18, something like that.
Something like that. So, I mean, craft beer is pretty damn cheap. So,
yeah.
I mean, we could get like 4-ounce pours for nothing of, their good shit. And it was a cool kind of vibe at Great Divide. You know what I mean? Like, you could hang by the bar, you could kind of go back and grab a table, which is what we did. Yeah, it's just a shame that we didn't get more trashed across the street. Yeah.
And we missed the tour because Jiunn was wearing flip-flops, so.
That's right.
So.
Although, you guys have probably done brewery tours before, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it's like doing a whiskey tour. It's like, it's a mash tun. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get it. That's cool. I mean, it's cool, but you can only see so. To me, it's not like a tobacco tour. Like, I get jazzed every time I go in a factory still, even though I've been in a bunch of times. But for breweries, it's like, I've seen all the equipment. Unless you're actually canning, right now it's not really that exciting. Yeah. Just give me some beer and send me on my way.
And then after that, we got to go hang out with the Dojo crew, watch Smoke Night Live, actually live. So that was a cool event.
That's kind of cool.
Yep. And there was a lot of people that came over from the industry, so I got to hang out a little bit and chit chat with them. So that was a nice time. And then Friday, we drove out to Boulder. Went out for breakfast at a restaurant called The Buff, which was a pretty cool restaurant.
It's pretty good food.
Yeah, it's pretty good food. We were just kind of packing it on before we were going to head over to Avery. So we got over to Avery. Yeah, Avery is a huge brewery. I didn't know kind of what to expect when we went out there, but their place was pretty large.
I mean, we had to stand across the street to get the panorama. So, I mean, that's a pretty good sense of how big a brewery is.
That's right. And then pretty much we looked at the beer menu and said, all right, these 4 we don't want, but bring everything else, right? And it was I want to say it was like 22, 24 beers that we got, something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Some of those beers were
mix of sours and barrel aged stouts and some quads.
Doesn't smell like a quad though.
Doesn't smell like a quad. What else was in there that we got?
Dude, there's
what was the smoke thing?
The Doppelbock.
Doppelbock.
It was a Marzen, really.
And then we had a barrel aged version of that.
Yeah.
We basically had we mainly had the whole board, especially focusing on sours and other big beers.
Yeah. Rare stuff too.
And which
there
was
a couple IPAs mixed in there, but we kind of stayed away from those.
Yeah. But I felt like I was doing all the drinking, and then Charles was just talking about fucking V cuts and shit.
I don't know why you would say that.
John was just checking in the whole time. I don't think he
Charles just.
That's right. I was just checking in. It's like when I do a cigar show, I don't actually smoke. I just hold the cigar in my hand and give the appearance of smoking.
Yeah.
We all.
What's that?
We had to eat before we left the place.
Yeah.
So
that was a lot of
pretzels. Then you guys had some gumbo.
Gumbo's pretty good.
Yeah.
Good food.
He gave me heartburn.
Yeah. Those but those barrel aged beers, man, I mean, holy God. Like I go up to 13%, and that's pretty big, but I mean, when you're going up to like 17.5, 17 whatever percent, like good Lord, like that's that's a big beer. That's a big beer.
Yeah.
But controversy time. Still gotta say, California has better beer.
I would agree with that.
You bitch.
It's true, man. Come out here and we'll take you to the ones and we'll have all those styles. You judge.
I think I've had quite a few. I think I can get most of the stuff or a lot of the stuff from California up here on the regular because it's so close.
No.
I think so.
I'm talking more like localized.
Yeah, like microbreweries or whatever.
Yeah.
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 Problem with that though is you have to take a bicycle or something because you're gonna get so trashed by the end of it.
Bro, that's why there's Uber.
Who? Who?
Uber.
Who? I would actually, when I go back to Colorado, what I'd actually like to do is do like an organized brewery tour, where they kind of drive you around to a couple, 2, 3 breweries, and you just kind of drink the whole menu and get trashed, if there is such a thing. Because I wouldn't mind hitting like 2 or 3 breweries in a day, and maybe picking, it was cool to drink the menu, but I think for Avery, it would, like, we obviously identified, I think, what our top 5 or 6 beers were from the menu. So it'd be kind of nice to go to a brewery and say, like, what are your top 3, 4 styles, and try those styles, and then kind of move on and try the, instead of, not that, my taste.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you want to, I feel like we still, in general, didn't do a lot of things that were recommended, right?
It's true.
Like the Biscuit Place, like Quick
That's my fault.
Escape, Black Project, a couple of other ones that some of the dojo guys are talking about. So, I guess with all that said, there's still the good thing is there's still plenty of places to check out right next time. So
Yep, exactly.
Next time.
And then after that, at Avery, we went to the Mega Herf that was at the hotel where the event was going to be. So we were there for a few hours. And then after that, we went over to the Aloft Hotel, which is where the dojo was kind of having a little get together with the all the community members and things like that. So we got to hang out over there for a little while. And then after that, John made us trek all the way back to Denver to get some noodles.
Meanwhile, Aaron, having driven like 45 minutes all over the city, is like, I don't want to drive 14 minutes to get ramen. Oh, it's so
It was actually good
far.
because it was at 11 o'clock at night. There was no traffic, so it was pretty quick to get there.
Mm.
It wasn't like during the day. It's like anywhere you want to go, it's like 40 minutes. So.
Yeah, that would have been a no bueno situation. I think if it had been 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, we would have been like, no. Point out the nearest Burger King, and it's Impossible Burger Time. By the way, Burger King, you can sponsor us. It's totally cool. We're totally down with that.
Yeah, we try to make it a point not to hit any chain places. So we wanted to visit some,
we passed by Burger King a lot, though.
A lot.
Yeah, where we were staying was right next to a Burger King.
Right,
there was some full-on rubbernecking. Like, there was some serious rubbernecking going on.
Well, every time we passed it, we had to say, "Are we getting an Impossible Whoppers?"
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie. Every time I said it, I saw it. I was like, maybe we should just try right now.
Yeah, we probably should have
Live stream that shit. The ramen was pretty good, right?
The ramen was good. The service was kind of shitty.
Yeah, but I mean,
service is really bad, man.
I mean, so I don't know what your guys' experiences are at, like, pho places and ramen places, but like, my expectation is to get good food and lousy service. Like, that's just what's normal.
Well,
maybe.
Yeah.
It should have been better. Like, not.
You wanted your chicken.
Yeah, I wanted my
order the small plates and the ramen. You typically want the small plates first, right?
Right. Exactly.
Typically.
That didn't work out that way.
That should be the natural progression.
We got the ramen
took
first.
like 25 minutes.
Yeah, and then we get our small plates. So we get 2 of the 3 small plates we ordered, and then the other one never shows up. So whatever.
But I still thought it was a good call. Like, I was.
Yeah, the food was good. I thought the food was good.
Yeah,
food was good.
And I wish in general we spent more time in Denver, like downtown area.
Yeah.
Like, I think we could have found a lot of stuff to do there for, like, eating and drinking and all that good stuff.
There is, but to what Aaron was saying, I think the only downside to it's like any big city where you kind of got to go there and stay there. You don't want to be going back and forth because it's going to be a major hassle to get in and out with traffic. But yeah, I mean, I've been to Denver plenty of times for oil and gas, and we're always downtown. So it's actually pretty walkable. Like, downtown's pretty walkable, which I know is probably normal for people who go to San Francisco. But anyone in another major American city, they're like, what even is walking?
Yeah.
But yeah, I was impressed with the standard of food. I was kind of expecting to come back and make fun of Colorado and be like, when you got beer, but you guys don't know anything about food. But that wasn't the case.
Yeah, and I don't think it would be a good idea to stay in Denver because when you're done with the event, you don't want to have to make the hike back, right?
No.
You want to be kind of close. So I think it still makes sense to just kind of stay local to where the event was.
Airbnb was like 11 minutes from the event.
Yeah, it was a pretty nice spot.
That was good. That was really good.
And then Saturday, we went and had breakfast at a local spot. Definitely like a Greasy Spoon kind of diner place.
Should have gotten the milkshake. I don't know what I was thinking. Should have gotten the milkshake.
And then we headed over to the event. We got in early as media, took some pictures and stuff like that before the craziness of all the people coming in. So that was nice to kind of get a lay of the land ahead of time and get some pictures in. John took all the great pictures, so he gets all credit for that. And then we got to see the VIPs come in and got to see kind of how the initial wave happened, which was pretty interesting. And then at noon, when general admission got in, got to see that second wave. So definitely, like, the VIPs all kind of got in at that little covered area. So that was like definitely a big swarm in there, and that was a common ground where people collected because it was kind of pretty cool in there. I think they had the AC running in there. It's still like all the sides are open or whatever, and then it was in the shade, so that helped out as well. So it was a nice spot. But
I wish I had known the coffee that they were doing at the Tobacco Special, the Drew thing was that good. Because honestly, I probably would have done like whiskey, beer, coffee, whiskey, beer, coffee throughout the day.
Right.
Yeah. To churn out coffee of that quality for that many people is no joke.
Yeah.
All day long.
Yeah, all day long.
Yeah, they were lined up.
We didn't have coffee until what, 5 o'clock, something like that.
Yeah. Well, that's when we knew about it, and I was like, oh man, I really needed this, and then I was like, well, shit, it's 5.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we just kind of assumed it's like, clearly that's the Drew Estate lineup because you can see the lineups like 500 feet long. So, they're buying tobacs or getting hats or who knows what. But yeah, I think if we had known there was coffee, definitely, especially first thing in the morning at 11, would have been all over that. 10:30.
Yeah. And then after that, we kind of mingled over at the after party for a little bit. It was just, I don't know. I think it was just kind of a long day, and it was just like, we hung out for a little bit, but it was just like kind of time to go. I think. You guess.
I think.
you're talking about the pool party.
Yeah, the pool thing.
Yeah, it felt like okay. I think we're all pretty like tired at that point. It kind of zapped up energy in general.
I think the only feedback I would say is that I'm not a pool party kind of guy. Like that's just I don't enjoy hanging out at a pool because I feel like it's weird that I've got clothes on and not a swim trunk. Number one.
Yep.
Number two, there's never enough room to sit or smoke.
Yeah.
And number three, what I kind of want is just a table. So I think it would be cool if they had the pool party and then had like a kind of another area with tables and chairs where you just kind of sit down and have a cocktail or whatever and have a chance to smoke while sitting in a that little patio they had outside of the hotel kind of near the pool.
Yep.
That would have been a great place to chill out and just kind of recharge for an hour or two.
Right.
But it's not a complaint because I think there was a lot of people at the pool that were having a really great time.
Yeah.
That just was one of them.
Yeah, I mean, if Jiunn had the right idea, he wore flip-flops, so he could just throw those off real quick and put his feet in the pool. So that was nice.
I was wondering that. I was like, why are these guys sitting next to me?
I thought about it,
fucking
too, but I was like,
I didn't want to take off my shoes. And
then I was like, I looked back and I was like, oh, you guys are wearing your shoes.
Look like a weirdo. Yeah. Plus my feet are even wider than the rest of me, so I didn't want to scare anybody.
White feet.
Yeah.
White feet.
And then after that, we went and had kind of a wrap-up dinner. We went to a place called Hickory and Ash, I think is what it was called.
Yeah, that's pretty good food.
Yeah, kind of nice little steakhouse. Jiunn was kind of under the weather at that point. I think he had
a little too much sun.
Whatever cocktail mixture you put together throughout the day just didn't work out for you.
No,
was it the hot sauce that finally got you?
I don't know what it was, man. Like it was like a nicer, more upscale-ish restaurant, right?
Yeah.
Like proper chop house, I guess you could say. Yeah. I ordered some fries. I ordered a lamb shank meal.
Look good.
And then so like when the bread initially came out, after I ate that initial piece of bread, I was like, holy shit, I gotta go throw up. I think I gotta go throw up, and I just felt like absolute fucking garbage. And I'll be honest, John, and like when the lamb shank came, like I ate probably like 2 bites, and I ate one of my fries. And at the end, when the waiter came and see if you wanted dessert. I was like, if you would have said you wanted dessert, I would have probably been like, all right, guys, I'm gonna take a fucking Uber back right now.
Yeah, I was like, it's probably not cool.
I wasn't gonna. I could read the. The room. I was like, and
I didn't want to be
cool.
like that guy. You know, I don't want to be that guy that's gonna put a damper to all this shit. So I was like, oh, please don't get dessert.
Yeah, it definitely came across to me like you just got a little bit like that was kind of I got too much sun and now it's just all kind of hitting you at once. That's what it came across. But
yeah, it absolutely was. I had a blazing terrible migraine. I was like, man.
Yeah.
And we even had to pass on the Cougars at the bar on the way out just to get Jiunn home. So.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that was there was a slam dunk. I had the Cougars at the bar. They were like, they're flirting hard. They're like, tell me about the Pilates courses you guys do. And I'm like, oh man, it's so weird to have older women hit on me. I'm used to the youngins. So I did whatever brand development I could do. I don't think they were really within the cigar segment, but I did what I could, spread the good word.
Yeah, I mean, if we have to branch out, we branch out. And what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
So we have to do Pilates and we have to do pirates of some sort. I don't know.
Pirates and Pilates. Oh yeah, we didn't talk about that.
Yeah,
that was pretty funny.
We went to the coffee shop with.
How were those kids?
Yeah, I mean, what were they all? 19 or something like that?
Yeah, they were like 18 to. I mean, everyone looks 12 to me now, but they're like 18 to 20. And the guy's like, are you guys like seriously doing stuff with pirates? And dude looks at him like,
are you guys really pirates? And I was like, what the fuck?
How do you develop pirates? And dude looks at him like, he does the whole like head sideways, like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Just give me my coffee. And he's like, oh no, I thought it says Palates. I saw pirates, and the whole time I'm thinking, listen, I don't mind if you smoke up, dude, but you can't smoke up and talk to the customers because you're not making any sense.
Yeah.
Just make the coffee. We'll all be good. And I really, really need coffee that morning so badly.
Speaking of stoner guys,
go ahead.
Did you guys feel like I didn't really smell that much like, weed or any of that stuff?
I was very disappointed.
Yeah, I don't think I smelled any at all.
I just thought it was going to be like everywhere. Like people just like, walking down the street smoking a joint or something. I don't know, but like
step up your game, Colorado. That's bullshit. That's one
of their kind of marketing
shit. Yeah, you need to step those numbers up. I mean, I can walk downtown in the weekday in Calgary during a weekday and there's weed, and I didn't smell any weed. I was very disappointed.
Right?
I mean, there's a lot of gummies being thrown around, and that's cool.
Yeah. There's a shit ton of gummies, so we were
a lot of gummies. But no, seriously, there was like even the sort of preview event where they had all the other sort of alternative vendors out there. I don't think I smelled a single joint the entire time we were there.
Yeah.
Right.
It's weird. It's a little weird.
Yeah.
Step up your game, Colorado. Rookie weed.
All right, I think that's it. Anything else from you guys that we want to chat about? Other than that, we're probably going to go back next year.
Probably go back.
Event. Yeah, it was a really good event. So
yeah,
I'm intrigued for another year.
I agree, and I feel like that says a lot. Like I'm not, I'm not the guy to typically want to fly out and go to like cigar events and that kind of thing. But I was really surprisingly pleased with this event, like from like the beer scene, the food scene, most importantly, like hanging out with people. Like if you're a consumer that wants to, see your celebrity idols, they're going to be here.
Like Jiunn.
Yeah. Like
developing palates.
Or if you're the kind of guy where, if you also like your spirits and your beer, the local stuff is here. And everything's not very far. Like your Broomfield is essentially in the middle of Denver and then like Boulder, so you could essentially visit all of your major breweries and all that right within a range of like 30 to 40 minute drive within each area that you're in. I thought it was pretty freaking awesome, man. But too bad it's not in California.
Yeah. I don't think we would pull off one of these in California. It would be get broken by the cops.
And good cigars, right?
Yeah.
Very good cigars.
I don't know. I honestly don't know how anyone could organize an event this size to this degree anymore. Like, now they've got the years behind them, so they can keep it rolling. But I honestly don't know how anyone else could throw an event to this, even percentage of this size, because it's just logistically so complicated, and there's so much that goes into it. But good for them for keeping it rolling, because it is.
Shout out to Dan, the guy that kind of put all this together for Rocky Mountain for the entire festival. I mean, he has been incredibly gracious and nice to us.
Maybe the PCA should call him up, contract him out. I'm just saying.
Seriously, put him on the board.
Put him on the board.
No.
I'm kind of joking, but I'm also kind of being serious. Like, that is the kind of person that would come on board and say, here are all the things that you haven't thought about that we've done the last 8 years that you don't know. That's the kind of guy you need on the board.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of not going to say anything, but I guess I'll say it. But the PCA for CigarCon trying to put something like something together. I mean, this is pretty well run. There's a lot of, like I said, a lot of principals from the companies there. At the trade show, you're going to have all the principals from the companies there. So, option of one is you don't have to do it on the trade show floor. You can do it in a separate space where you just have like small tables like they did here, and they can be spread out so that it's not like packed in there, and it could be in another decent sized ballroom. And people can go in there and meet whoever it is. They can talk about the new products, whatever they're doing. And then if the retailers are still kind of involved at the same level, they know what they need to order if they're not already planning on it, or if they're, their consumers that are with them are helping guide them as to what they would like to buy, and it helps them with the increasing purchase or whatever. But it was definitely well run. So, if they can utilize any of that, organization for some sort of CigarCon tie-in, then they definitely should, because this is
learn from the people that know how to do it. That's been doing it for a few years, right? Like,
exactly.
And do it right.
Yeah, like cross-reference with people that have experience. Like, that's the best way you could do. Like,
yeah. I mean, that to me, the whole time we were there, I mean, that's why I made the crack about the bag of cigars, is because so many retailers have said, if you give away free cigars, there's no way people are going to buy. And I also heard comments of, well, who's going to pay to see, X vendor. And we saw all of that. We saw people that were absolutely there to see their favorite cigar maker. They were there to buy cigars. They were there to see their friends and hang out and chill out. And that was only one day. It was only a matter of 6 hours or 7 hours if you're a VIP. Mm-hmm. So, I think that people need to stop underestimating that there's a huge desire out there for consumers to attend events like this. And I think the more you can provide consumer events like this, the more you support the industry as a whole. Like, I come away from an event like this and I'm super jazzed about the community. I'm super jazzed about the experience and the cigar makers and the cigars. And it kind of injects a bunch of fresh positivity into me going back and reviewing cigars from the show. So, to me, it's like it was a real re-injection of, this is the stuff that I love about the cigar industry. And, sometimes I think you get trapped in your little bubble and forget about that. So,
all right. So we'll get you a Woody for you to review next then.
That's what I'm saying.
After I get through
after I get through the 14 Davidoff diademas that I've got that are going to basically take all of my smoking time this weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, special shout out also to Dan for treating media guys like us, like,
gold,
with proper respect, right? Like,
yeah.
I'm not sure. So, for those of you that know, when we go to IPCPR representing media, it's always similar battles we have to fight, right? Whether it's
we're going to be let in early.
Like we're going to be able to enter at the proper time, meal tickets, which ultimately I don't really give a shit about, but whatever. But like, the point of it is we're there to support the industry, and it felt like that from the reception we got from Dan and the greater Rocky Mountain Cigar Festival employees, right? So I kind of felt like that felt encouraging, that felt uplifting and motivating, as compared to IPCPR, which is kind of like, what the fuck else are we going to deal with this year?
Right. Yeah.
So.
Well said.
It makes them want to go back and do better coverage and continuously doing coverage for them.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
All right. Anything else, guys? We're going to wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
All right. I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight, and everybody's going to watch on the recorded version. We definitely want to thank everybody at the Rocky Mountain Cigar Festival for welcoming us in there, treating us while we were there. It was a great time, great event. We appreciated all the insight leading into it, and then all the follow up while we were there and things like that, just to make sure that we had what we needed. That talking about stuff we should pay attention to, all that kind of stuff. So it was great, kind of staying in the fold with the organization in regards to what was happening and what we could do to cover the event better. So we want to make sure we thank everybody there, including Danny. So I think we all have intentions to go again next year. So I think it'll be a fun time. So thank you everybody for joining us tonight, and we will catch you on the next one.